I'm definitely not where I want to be physically at all.
But you're going to get there.
But I'm like going to get there. I'm going to get there one day. And it's, you know, as long as I can keep up with my kids at this point, I'm good.
Yeah. You're looking good, though.
Thanks, man.
Oh, dear. Should we turn off the camera? Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Raising Heights with Zach and Tori. I'm Zach.
And I'm Tori.
And yeah, we are on episode
Are we doing that? Are we doing that? I feel like I've seen so many podcasts that have like 100, 200 episodes and they never count how many.
Got it. So
Noted.
We won't be doing that. All right, we're just on season 2.
We're somewhere in the midst of podcasting.
Yeah, another episode of Raising Heights.
Thank you guys for being here. Everyone who's finding us for the first time, thanks for being here. And everyone who's been here, welcome back.
Yeah. Exciting episode today. Tori's going to do a lot of the talking. I'm not going to be interrupting her.
Oh, man. Our viewer count just tanked.
She's got a lot to say. So it's going to be a good one, though. Highs and lows. Peaks and pits.
Peak and pit.
Yeah. I think our peak is the same. What's our pit real quick, though?
My pit currently, and I feel like we say the same one every week, but oh my gosh, you guys, we have been sick nonstop in our house.
Yeah, one of us
very
has been
frustrating.
Sick, or one of us has an ear infection.
Oh, it's very, very frustrating. Yeah. And Lila got the stomach bug, and then Zach got it, and then today I think I have it, and it's not fun.
It's kind of rare for us, though. I feel like
getting sick for like you and I. Yeah. For the kids, I feel like it's just the season of life that we're in. But for you and I, we don't get sick.
No, second time in like 2 months I've had the stomach bug. So.
And can I just point out, though, that I'm sitting here?
I know. You're a miracle.
I do feel pretty. If I run out of the room from throwing up, it's not because I'm pregnant, okay? It's because the stomach bug is going around our house right now. And it's not fun.
No, not fun at all. So you're doing a great job, though. You're functioning way better than I was.
But also, and we were talking about this before we turned on the mics here, or maybe we weren't. But I also feel like, you know, when you're about to ride a new roller coaster or ride and you get really excited, you're going on a vacation, like something exciting is happening and your stomach kind of turns a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't really tell if it's because Lila's having surgery tomorrow.
Yep.
Or if it's because I have the stomach bug.
Yeah, that's
like
a good thought.
That's like the feeling right now that I have is, oh, I'm about to go do this really big roller coaster.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or that's a good thought. Lila is having surgery tomorrow for her adenoids and tonsils.
Please pray for us.
Yeah.
We're going to need all the prayers. And actually, you won't hear this podcast until after it happens. So hopefully she's doing better by the time you hear this.
It'll be good for her. It'll help her sleeping. But yes, the surgery part and the recovery might be a little rough.
I've just heard, I feel like everyone's kind of been trying to be nice and like, oh, it's not that bad. But then I'll run into people that don't really care if they're nice to us or don't really care. Like they don't know our daughter's going through surgery and they're like, buckle up. Like you're about to go on the ride of your life.
I had my adenoids and tonsils taken out though. It wasn't the end of the world.
Were you younger or older?
I was probably younger.
You were younger than her?
I wasn't young as her probably. I was probably 7 or 8.
Okay. See, maybe you knew it was like... I have a feeling, and Lila's excited about it. And that's what the most heartbreaking part of all of this is she has this favorite sleeping baby that she always carries around and has with her. And we've told her, oh, we're going to get you a second sleeping baby when you have surgery. And so she's like excited. She's like, I'm going to get my second sleeping baby tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, you're also going to get a lot more than that.
The actual surgery though, right? We're more nervous for how Lila handles it. And she surprised us during the sleep study.
Right. Yeah.
She rocked it during her first dance recital. So like maybe she comes out and she just, I'm cool.
I think that we keep on comparing our kids, which you shouldn't do, but we do. We compare, you know, Jackson has had 2 surgeries now and both times has waken up out of anesthesia pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's our chill one. He's our not a lot messes with him. So I'm just a little nervous for what Lila's going to do.
You know, maybe she'll surprise us.
But also, and I guess I didn't realize how big of a surgery it was and how much you're at risk for bleeding.
I think that's just what
I
they
know
say.
it's
That's
like
just what they
1%, but
say.
still, I'm like, oh my gosh, that you think about that, like my head goes to the worst case scenario every time.
Every time you go under anesthesia, you're under. It's not like something can happen. So
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
what's your peak? Let's talk about something better.
Well, our friends from Colorado came and visited.
We
great.
both had the same peak this
Yeah.
week. It was so much fun.
They have 3 kids, a little older, but they play great with our kids.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I got like 2 days.
It was a vacation for us
Yeah,
because
it
their
was.
kids just hung out with
They
our
came
kids.
to us and then just they're like 13. How old's
13.
Dean
Dean
is
is.
the younger one. 10.
Oh my gosh. I'm so bad at this. They were all like 2 years apart. So it's like 13, 11 and 9 maybe.
But it was
I'm
great.
so bad. They're
Yeah.
sorry, Lisa. I'm so bad at all of that kind of thing.
It was great.
But
It
it was so fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
But I think it worked out perfectly because we all got sick immediately after they left.
It was huge. And the rain
And it started raining, so they came at the perfect time. I really hope they're doing okay at this point. I should call Lisa.
Yeah, but that was a great weekend.
It was so
A lot of fun with the friends.
Yeah,
So.
it was a good time.
I feel like I had another peak somewhere in there, but
I feel like we've had them all over the place.
yeah.
Lila finished school. She's done with school.
Yeah.
Preschool's over.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of a pit because she had the best teachers this
Yeah,
year, and
best
so that's
teachers.
kind of a pit that she's done. But
Jackson's almost done with school. His last day is tomorrow.
I know.
Done with first grade.
And he got invited to his first sleepover, which it's
Yeah,
funny
whoa.
because you made me second guess it. Because I think I'm like going to be weird when Lila gets invited for a sleepover. I'm going to be a lot more, I'm not going to be so quick to say yes. But Jackson got invited to his first sleepover and I'm stoked for him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have
Tori
a blast.
had this whole thing about sleepovers, I don't know, 3-4 years ago.
I still have it. I guess it's just not
I
as much with
remember
my
things
boys.
though. I remember things and I try
You
to
do.
build off things. We've already talked about this. So she had this huge thing. I just remember. It's not like a big thing. I just, oh, that's her thing. Okay. And then 4 years later, she's saying, Jackson, yay. And I'm like, hold on here. I thought we were like totally against that.
Yeah.
So what happened there?
But I think it's the girls. I think it's girls having sleepovers. I heard some article or some dad talking about the statistics of things that happen to girls at
That's
slumber
terrible.
party.
Let's not think
It's
about
terrible.
that.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, Lila's never sleeping over at anyone's house. They could sleep over here, but they're never sleeping over anywhere else.
You're so funny.
But then you meet people, you meet friends. You're like, gosh, okay, I actually really trust these people. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's all situational. So I shouldn't be so hard line in the sand, but
Yeah.
I am.
Anyway, let's get into it.
So today is something I just want to preface. I feel like I do this all the time on our podcast, but I just want to preface this with like, there's no judgment here. There's no judgment for choices. This is like just my own
That's
thoughts.
super dramatic.
I know. But it is. I think I'm going to get torn apart for today's episode, just to be
Doesn't matter.
completely
You
honest.
get torn up
like,
every week anyway.
I know. They all tell me to stop talking. And that's the thing. We just lost a bunch of viewers anyway because you were like, Tori's going to do all the talking. So.
Can we start it off with you are doing a half marathon pretty
Oh,
soon.
thanks, babe. I
Yeah.
love bringing this topic up.
You're like a week away.
I know.
Have you been running?
And I'm sick and I have not ran this week.
You need to run.
So, but I got all the rules for the half marathon that I'm participating in, and they say you can walk. So done. I'll be fine. I'll finish. I think my friends that are finishing, they're gonna finish in like the 2 hour.
Yeah.
I think 2 hours is gonna be their finish time. Mine'll be more like 3, and it'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
You know, I walked it. I can say I did it, and I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Unless it's at Disney World, then maybe I'll think about it.
But you've been kind of like, we're done having kids, right?
We're done having kids.
That's the plan, at least.
Sorry, back to your whole point. I just wanted to talk about it a little
Well, that's the
bit.
plan, right?
That is the plan.
So you're
no
coming
more
out,
children.
You're coming out of this.
I think that I was unprepared for what postpartum looked and felt like.
Yeah.
And it's been, I would say 2 years. It has been 2 years postpartum that I'm finally feeling like myself again and feeling strong and not postpartum-y,
Yeah.
if that's a word, you know, like I'm
Emotionally or physically?
I think mostly like talking physically. I don't think I struggled a lot emotionally postpartum, right?
What would emotionally postpartum struggle be?
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of women can struggle with like anxiety and I mean, I'm not exactly sure,
The
but
physical change?
I think I've struggled a lot with the physical change.
or struggling with the physical change emotionally.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And do you think that would be me?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I think
You had
that
like maybe moments, but I don't think you were ever like, I think you were more frustrated than like, I don't know, maybe that is postpartum, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like frustrated that you couldn't just jump up, and you had C-sections, you know, so that you had
So-
that recovery. You were more frustrated with that recovery.
So, okay, yeah, let's pause for a second because I think the topic that I want to talk about today is postpartum motherhood and how moms compare themselves to one another's. Like not just like their kids, but also I'm talking more today about physically comparing ourselves to one another.
Is this like women do this, or is this a you thing?
It's got to be women.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. I think it's women in general.
Continue.
But I think that growing up, I was always pretty confident with myself. I had my moments, don't get me wrong, and I was self-conscious in seasons of life, but overall, I was pretty confident with my, like how I looked. I never really cared about how I looked or fussed over that, you know? And so I think when we had Jackson and postpartum with Jackson, that was a very new feeling for me, being uncomfortable in my body. And that was, I think, the struggle that and it only continued to grow with each of our kids. I think that I do a really good job of shaking it off and not like thinking about
100%.
it too much. What?
Or yes, I was gonna just compliment you. The position you were in while being pregnant and being on TV, national television, social media, and the body changes you went through, I thought you handled it like beyond fantastic.
I think that that's something that people do not think about is I don't remember. I was huge. I got huge during my pregnancies. They gave me a number and I don't remember what the number was for an average amount of amniotic fluid would be in a pregnant woman, and I was 3 times that amount. So I got huge during my pregnancies. But I also had to watch myself change on national television.
Yeah.
I had to sit back and watch my body grow a human, which I am so grateful for. That was the most amazing, beautiful experience. But I had to watch myself physically change over time.
Yeah.
And that was hard. And reading people's comments about how, I really let myself go and she got huge. And I think that was one of my biggest struggles postpartum is I was watching all of my friends and people who were close to me bounce back really quickly. And they all, oh, look, my jeans from high school fit me again. And my jeans will never fit from high school again. Like, it's just a fact of life for me that it will never happen. And I think that I really struggled with like, well, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong in this situation that I'm not bouncing back and I'm not? And I think that that's one of the things is a lot of my friends didn't have C-sections, and C-section.
Does that increase?
I mean, I don't know because like a lot of my friends, I only have one other friend who's had a C-section.
And did she bounce back?
And I would say she bounced back pretty good.
Okay, so does it have that the C-section is the
But I had
culprit?
3.
Got it. Okay.
And a miscarriage.
Got
So
it.
my body has just been through so much. Like my body has just gone through, roller coasters of different experiences. And, it's just been, I think that it was hard for me to like, and also I didn't love pregnancy. It was beautiful and I'm grateful for it.
You've been pretty
and it was,
consistent about that.
But it wasn't what I want. Like I was uncomfortable all the time. I had to ask that. Like also my husband already smaller than me and I was just getting bigger while he's getting more fit and doing his workout, powerlifting, breaking and so it made me really insecure. It made me very like,
I think there's something to say about you like finding me attractive and marrying me though. Because, you don't have that, like, I can fit into my before pregnancy.
Yeah.
You didn't have I can fit into my husband's sweatshirt and look how baggy it is and he can pick me up and all. Like, you were already pretty comfortable with all that,
Right.
Just, again, trying to support what you said earlier. Is like, you were, I think.
I was confident in who I was. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, you know, during my pregnancies, and I forget the medical term, I should have looked it up before we did this podcast, but there's like a medical thing with when you get pregnant, your abs literally separate.
Yeah.
And mine never came back together.
Yeah.
And so I still look like I'm 4 months pregnant, 3 months pregnant, like because of this situation. And, you know, I saw a trainer for a long time and had an honest conversation with him. Like, what do I do to get rid of this? Like, what do I do to fix it? And he said, like, surgery is the only way that you're going to fix this. Like, no matter how many crunches you do, how much running you do, how much working out you do, it's always going to be there until you.
Can it be reduced though through crunches and running?
Well, I think I've proved that it can be reduced.
Or I guess I'm just saying, in support of him, you can either go extreme working out, or yes, surgery to make it right.
Right.
But surgery also comes with its repercussions.
So I think that I got to this point where I was working out all the time and I wasn't really seeing the results that I wanted to. And, you know, I wasn't feeling strong or confident in my body or anything like that. And I remember having a conversation with you at Home Depot. Do you remember that? Sitting in the parking lot at Home Depot. And I said,
yes.
You know, I had been researching getting a tummy tuck and I was very serious. Like, I think this is what I want to do. I'm in the public eye. I'm tired of people talking about my body. I'm tired of feeling trapped inside this postpartum body that I don't feel confident in. I think I just want to like get it fixed. I want to have, cause it like the surgery to fix the abs too. It's not necessarily a tummy tuck, but like it's a tummy tuck essentially. Yeah. Like they also go in and fix your situation or whatever. And I remember having a conversation with you like, yeah, like I want to do it. I think this is like the route for me. This is where I want to go, all the things. And that's why I prefaced this podcast with like, there's no judgment because like you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, I'm so grateful for you because in the parking lot of that Home Depot, do you remember the question that you asked me?
Help me out.
Yeah. You asked me, have you really tried to get where you want to be without having surgery?
Okay, yeah.
You asked me that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You really tiptoed around it because I think you were nervous to be like offensive to me. Yeah. But the true answer in that moment was no. Like, no, I haven't put in the work to actually see results. And like, yes, I was working out, but you know, I don't know. Like I hadn't actually put in the work. And so I sat on it and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it right now. Cause also after reading about the recovery and going through C-section recoveries 3 times and them saying a tummy tuck recovery is like
painful.
Whew, it's way worse. Scars way bigger, all the things. So then I was like, okay, hold on. I don't think I want to, I'm just getting to this point where I feel good about like moving. I don't want to put myself back in a situation that I have another 2 years that I have to recover from something. So I also was like, you're right. I'm going to like use this next year, put in the effort, put in the work. And I have, like, I think that I have really worked out a ton, like training for a marathon, but even a half marathon. Training for a half marathon.
Whoa.
And even before that, getting the gym set up in our house and just really trying to change. And it kind of brought me to this realization that I'm so happy with where I am right now. You know, I think that I have seen results from training for this half marathon and working out consistently, and I still don't eat the best. Like I snack and I do all that.
Well, that's where the balance comes in, though. Do you want to go full extreme, and you know, but then that's still a 2-year journey. Like, or are you comfortable? But I don't feel like you like let yourself go or anything either. I don't think that's healthy. But I feel like you're making steady progress, and you're probably never gonna be back to your high school. You know, you've had 3 kids. That's just normal. Right. You know, even women that do have those surgeries, they're not back to their high school form. Right. Like there's just one, you just grow. You're you know, everyone, pregnancy or not, you grow more. You know,
you have your hips literally.
You don't
grow
stop
when
growing at 18. Like you develop you know, muscle growth, everything. 100%. So,
and I think that also, to my next point with all of this, I was getting really discouraged because I would see these women's stories on social media that had like twins, triplets, and they look a certain way. And I was like, gosh, like what are they doing that I'm not doing? And then realizing that a lot of women have these surgeries.
Yeah.
And it puts this unrealistic goal on myself because I'm looking at these women like, I need to do whatever that girl's doing. She looks amazing. I need to do that. But I physically could not achieve that without medical intervention.
Yeah.
And so then I'm over here feeling really crummy about how I look and feel and all these things because of something that's not reality, that's not true.
Or just it's not put out there. Yeah, when they present themselves, they forget or don't or leave out that little tip, which is not their, like, every time they post a picture, they don't have to have a little asterisk saying, by the way,
Right.
But
I think there's a ton of women out there that are very open about their transformations, like the mommy makeovers, and there's a lot of women out there that are fully transparent about it. But I would say there's a ton of women that aren't.
Yeah.
And like, even thinking about Instagram filters, like even going as shallow as Instagram filters and putting filters on photos and videos that you're putting out to the world, that people are then thinking like, gosh, her skin looks amazing. Well, no, she has a filter on, and I found myself doing that to myself. And then I would pan to my kids, and then all of a sudden now my kids have a filter on their face. And I was like, nope, absolutely not. This is where I draw my line. No more filters on Instagram. My kid, like you start to kind of, you start, but like, that's where it starts. Yeah. You start with this, like, well, look how good my skin could look, where then we talked about it a little bit in the episode where we answered questions for each other, and you asked me, like, is your Instagram making other women feel inferior?
Yeah.
And I realized, like, putting filters on my things could ultimately make another woman look at my videos and be like, wow, is there
an argument though, like, no matter what you do, you can have no filters, you can have nothing, and someone's gonna still look at your Instagram and be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had those pillows.
100%.
I wish I had.
I feel like that. I feel like that's my biggest sin is envy. Like comparison. It's so true what they say. Comparison is such a thief of joy, and I feel that to my core because I think a lot of times I find myself looking at other women, and I think just having that extra layer of knowing that that's not reality, but I'm still sitting here like, gosh, I wish that was my reality.
Can I deviate real quick and had one thing, even if there are any men listening to this episode,
if you've made it this far,
the same thing with when I was working out. Like, I would look at dudes, putting up weight and all this and that, and then you find out later they're on something,
right?
Or they were doing some stuff that you're not going to a clean workout, or you're not doing a clean competition. Do you get what I'm saying? A little
100%,
bit, but that's not
it's the same thing.
They're not like denying that, but they're also not, again, they can't just have an asterisk on every post. You know what I'm saying? But or my naivety, our naivety. Yeah. Like, some dudes are like, no, duh, he was on. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. He didn't say anything. Like, he looked like he was working hard and training.
Oh,
do you get my point?
100%, Zachary.
To your point of women, like,
I've literally I've had conversations with women in my life who I thought I was extremely close to, that I'm like, I know everything about this chick. She's my girl. And I'll find out that she had something done. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, how?
It could just be we're young.
We're dumb.
We have a lot of older friends, and it could be our, like, doy.
But I think that all of that to say, like, all of these pieces I've put together in the last year, I've kind of come up with this, like, I don't like, I'm being stubborn about it now. Like, I don't want to have anything done because I want to just, like, feel good in my body, and know.
I support you, Tori, obviously, in every decision. I'm proud of you, how you've handled fame and celebrity and Instagram, social media fame, and just also carrying yourself with 3 kids. I think, like, a lot of women should look at you as a icon and just a inspiration of just being proud of themselves.
Thank you.
Body, all the things.
But thank you. I appreciate that. But I think that is also, like, an asterisk next to that is it's hard because I think my entire life I've never had to work to, like, stay in shape or look a certain way.
And now you're
like, younger, I could eat whatever I wanted to. I played sport. Like, I didn't have to work to be a size 2. That was never
That was
You
me too.
know,
Like
you could do
I
anything.
could
You
eat
still
whatever.
can. Get out
No,
of here.
yeah,
Just get out
I
of
could
here.
eat whatever, and it's we had friends. Jeremy and me were kind of like that.
Yeah.
We had friends though. They would
Yeah.
have one McDonald's meal, and we're
Their
like,
whole week was shot.
yeah, we're like, what the heck? Like,
yeah.
how do you gain and lose weight so dramatically? And it's like that's some people's, and then so everyone has their.
But
struggle.
I think that asterisk is like I haven't had to work a lot. So like any women looking at me being like, what is she doing? It's like, it's kind of just, not to say that, not now that they're looking at me saying that, but like back in the day, high school, you know, before we had kids, it was literally just genetics. Like there was nothing I did that was like groundbreaking, this, you know, new workout or fad. It was just, I literally just lived, and that's how it was.
I feel like it takes work though, even the women that do work out, and that they're suffering in their own way, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you can suffer with having the surgery, or you can really or you can just be comfortable. I feel like you're, you know, working out, you're running and everything,
right,
but you're also not willing to go to these extremes.
Yeah.
So in some of these women's defense, like they're waking up at 5 a.m, you know, being meal prepped while also having all these kids.
Yeah.
And there are women out there that don't have the surgery. You know, maybe they didn't fluctuate as much as you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to say, we don't know everyone's stories,
100%.
but there's a suffering. It depends on what you want, and some things are not easy.
Right.
And I'm sure there's men and women. There's also men out there, to my point, that like look good and can put up some weight, and they're clean as a button, and but they also wake up at 5 a.m, meal prep for the week, do all, you know, maybe they don't have kids either, but I don't know.
But
There's actually one fitness guy, I don't know, his name's Ben. He's legit. He's a dad, and I think he's clean. I'm assuming he's clean just the way he talks, but he's pretty cool.
But I think that's the disservice that social media does to all of us, is you do have to ask that question.
Yeah.
You do have to ask, like, is this wholesome? Is this true? Is this, you know, or is this just I'm not saying call Ben out on social media. I'm just saying it's sad that you have to have that question with everyone on social media, you know, like, and I think that's, you know, I think coming to this realization that like I'm going to be comfortable. I'm 2 years postpartum now. I'm starting to feel like myself again. Like I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling like I don't get tired as easily. I can rally with my kids. I can do all these things and not feel like I'm struggling to keep up. And so I'm not going to rock the boat. Like I'm going to stay where I am. But I think that another thought that crossed my mind, and again, there's no judgment for this, but I think that if I had all the money in the world and I could change everything about myself, what is that teaching our daughter? And that was a huge thing for me to kind of step back and be like, gosh, I don't know if I want to go through with something that's so life-changing and teach my daughter that, because no matter what, my daughter cannot change the certain things about her.
Certain things. And there's certain things. Yes.
Certain things.
Yeah.
Like she could change certain things when she's older, but I think that if I were to start that foundation now of like, oh, you can change things when you're older.
That's super interesting.
What is that teaching Lila? You know, like
or
Lila,
showing her.
Well, that like showing is the most powerful part of teaching. And if I am sitting here showing her that, you know, I can just change something about my body, and then she grows up and goes, well, I think I want to be a little bit taller. And you have to have that conversation of, oh, hold on. God made you a certain way, and that's how you're supposed to be. And then she comes out, well, Mom, you know, you changed this about you. God made you a certain way.
Yeah.
Then how do you have that conversation with your daughter?
Well, and if Lila, there's certain things that Lila, like, as a child, if she, like, wants to be taller, there's conversations we'll have there. And then when she's older, past 18, we can say, hey, you know, we went through this too. You can say, we went through this too, and this is the route we chose, and we were proud of ourselves and happy, confident with our bodies. It's something we can't stop her, especially when she's older.
Yeah.
But I'm saying more that you mentioned a little taller, that's leg lengthening, things like that's a whole separate conversation.
That's also
But I'm saying those conversations, if she came to us at 7 and said, I want to be taller, she's still in range to have. She can't have that when she's like 20, I think. Or like that's harder when you're way older. But I'm saying that's a whole.
But I
different
think that if Lila came to us at 7 and said that she wanted to do leg lengthening, I think us as parents would do everything in our power to convince her otherwise.
Oh yeah,
100%. We would say absolutely. You are perfect the way that you are. You do not need any extra.
I don't think she would come. I don't think she would be exposed to that option.
But I'm just saying, my whole point is if she's coming to us there, I want to have it in my back pocket that like, no, like your own mom, which I know I will not go through the same things that Lila does. And I know that she'll go through a lot more, but I want to rest in like, this is how God made me. And this is like what my body made 3 children. It grew you from, it like I went through this huge transformation to get you 3 beautiful things to this earth. I'm going to sit here and be like thankful for that. And if I can't say that, if I can't say, well, I want to change this, that, and the other thing, it makes your argument a little weaker.
How do you, and sorry if I'm getting into the weeds here, but like, how do you like, I don't know the answer. This could, like, there's nuances to everything. Mm-hmm. How do you reconcile, like, for you, for example, and, like, there's different things for me, but, like, makeup or clothes that enhance the body.
100%.
Like, so we're talking about some extreme surgeries here, but what stops, like, do you get what I'm saying a little
100%.
bit? Like, makeup,
right.
eyelash extensions, like, like, do people know you have eyelash extensions?
I do.
Or what do you have right now?
I do have eyelash extensions.
Okay. So
they're not my real you're 100% right.
You don't have
babe.
an asterisk. Oh, or Tori's eyelashes are so pretty.
What do? You
don't have an asterisk that says I have eyelash extensions.
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
So, like,
100%.
I don't know. I'm not saying like what somewhere in society we found what is acceptable. And what's like an extreme.
And it's not to say that surgery is not acceptable either, because it is. Like, women do it all the time. It's just you're right. Where's that line?
Where's our line?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that honestly, your mom taught me something that I think I'll carry forever, especially with Lila. She would say, that whenever Molly tried on makeup or did something fancy to her hair, your mom was careful not to call her beautiful in those moments. But instead be intentional about calling her beautiful in the moments that she's just Molly.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I took that to heart, like even when we were doing dance recital for Lila, I didn't put makeup on her because I'm like, you're 4. Like, that's, to me, that's like, we'll do a cute little lip gloss and stuff, but like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're so beautiful and do her hair and makeup, because that's, like, I don't want her to think that I'm only beautiful when I'm wearing makeup and have my hair done. Yeah. And I totally learned that from your mom. I was like, that's so smart to point out your daughter's beauty when they aren't trying, like when they're just being themselves. And I think that's really, I feel like that'll
important. Be really powerful as she gets older too.
Yeah. And I think that, not to like hit on my mom, love you, Mom, I don't think I was ever given a lot of feedback growing up. Like, I think I always really wanted that, like,
in general, though, not just beauty.
But like, especially in beauty, because my mom wasn't into makeup. My mom wasn't into hair. She didn't like how I dressed, because I dressed like a boy.
But you also didn't like how she did.
Yeah, and I didn't like how she dressed. Like, there was just like differences in that.
There's some asterisks.
Yeah,
here
100%. There's some dynamics that we would have to unpack for sure. But I think I always like craved that assurance as a kid. But to be honest, I think it helped me, because later on in life, I didn't care if people didn't comment on what I was wearing or what I like, how I looked, because that didn't matter as much, because maybe that's like some child psychology stuff right there. But I think that now I just, when she got her glasses or when she does certain things, I want to like point out those moments.
Wait, so not getting feedback developed you? So I feel like we should not give Lila feedback, because I want her to turn out like you.
Yeah,
okay?
Maybe.
So like, let's stop telling her anything. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
You turned out great.
I know. Well, thank you. I think I could have gone one of two ways.
I support your mom. Like, I'm gonna call your mom for more parenting tips.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. So I think that all of this to say, I just, I think that I have gone on this really like just the last 7 years have been hard. Like going through postpartum and C-section recovery.
You're mid-30s. You're done having
I'm in my
kids.
30s. Yeah.
And like, what's that look like? And what does that look like for you? How does that look for society? How does that look like with other moms?
Yeah.
What are they going through, and what do they do to, are they comfortable or are they not? Or do they make changes, and what journey do they go on with that?
And I think that's like been the conviction through this entire conversation and experience and all that, is that I want to be the light for the women who embrace who they are in their 30s and don't necessarily strive to be perfection. And I laugh too, because I think about,
is there just a funness about it though?
There is though. Like there's a carefreeness about it.
Or no, I'm saying like getting like a boob job. Like it's fine.
I mean, maybe to some people.
But I don't
surgery
know, like,
does not sound fun to me. Like I'm dreading our daughter. Oh my gosh.
We're trying to cover all the dynamics. There's some people that like aren't insecure, but they're like, that seems like fun.
Yeah.
Like
something new. Why not? Yeah, 100%. 100%. But
what were you saying?
I don't remember what I was saying now.
Killed it.
I don't know.
You want to be a light for all the women out there.
Yeah, well, and like for my daughter. Oh, what I was going to say though is it is funny when you're in your 30s. For me, who cares what I look like?
Oh yeah.
Who cares? It's what your kids look like. Do your kids look like feral cats running around the yard, or do they look put together? Like now I'm like, if my kids look put together, I won. If my hair is in a top knot and I don't have any makeup on and haven't washed my hair in 2 days, but my kids look good, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
And I think that's what we tend to do as humans, is we think everything's about us. We think that like, oh, so-and-so is only thinking about what my stomach looks right now. And oh my gosh, I just looked 3 months pregnant and my friends probably judge me every time I go out, when really my friends don't care. Yeah. Like my friends don't care what I look like when we go out. Like they just care that we go out, So
why do you stress so much before you go out?
I don't know. If I could give you the answer to that and solve that problem, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
You just look decent, halfway decent, and just
the
go
best
out.
I keep on talking about Boise, but the best thing about Boise is I'm like contemplating, what do I wear when I go out with a bunch of college kids? What's appropriate for a 30-year-old to wear when going out? And I put all these like options together and I brought them all with me, and then it was pouring, so I wore leggings and a sweatshirt, and it was the best night of my life. Heck yeah.
She'll promptly forget that the next time she goes out.
Next time I go out, I'll be like, oh my
gosh,
it was a nice thought.
It was a nice thought content for the podcast. Okay.
In one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I think I also have to compliment you. You've done a really good job of encouraging me and giving me grace, because there's definitely been days. There was a day that I remember, I need to apologize to this woman. I don't even remember what her name was, but we were filming one day. And I was in my leggings, sweatshirt, like my uniform. Okay. And I think she was a producer at the time.
Okay.
Or like an assistant or something like that. But she came in and was like, is that what you're wearing?
Oh my goodness.
Can you put jeans on? And I freaked out. I started crying and I was like, get out. I'm done. I'm not filming anymore today. And I was such a brat. But it was in that moment that I'm like, this is what I'm comfortable in. This is what I'm confident in. And I'm not going to change for somebody else.
I don't think that person was a head producer, because that would have never come out of.
I don't remember. I don't even remember what her name was. But I was such a brat. And I was like, and poor Zachary had to take the grunt on every one of those times, because I'm crying in the bedroom, like can't find something to wear, don't feel comfortable. And Zach has to be the bad guy to be like, okay, we're done filming for the day because Tori feels fat and she's in her room crying right now.
That's one thing about doing a reality television that was really tough, is you had interview days, like scheduled interview days. And those are like business days. Like there's a scheduled interview day. And it doesn't really matter how you feel. They are here, like it's a business. The crew is hired.
But it's like we are people, and it does matter how we feel. There's a reality
to it.
And when you like throw kids in, and it's at your your home.
But also, I would say like a lot of celebrities probably. I don't know how everyone, but like some celebrities go dark when they're pregnant. They're not working. They're not. Which is fine. Because it is this roller coaster, and it's very difficult. I give props to women that are pregnant, have to go to work and work. You did that your first year with Jackson, all the way up to 8 months,
and it was hard.
There's things where like it doesn't matter how you know, that's one blessing though with the show is like,
Right. I
it
was
was
able to be
it was a
home.
type of industry that, you know, you could call the shots and one day say, hey, I'm just not working today.
But I'm not the type of person that wants to do that. I'm
I
not the type of
know,
person
but
that
I'm
wants
just
to
saying
sit there and be like, we're
we
not
did
filming
have,
today.
there was options there
Right.
that were different than other industries.
But I think that added a lot to my issues postpartum was these days of like, I physically cannot get out of bed right now, or I just don't want to. And I had to like then send people home that were supposed to be working that day. And that weighed on me extremely heavy.
Just for the record, I probably just did some other film
You
work.
did. You picked up the slack in so many ways, which I was so grateful for. But it makes you feel really crappy as like a person to like, you know, and then you sit there, like everyone leaves and you have an hour to yourself and then you're like, oh, well, it wasn't that bad. I probably could have like rallied a little bit harder, you know, but sometimes you just can't.
That was a struggle I had. This is off topic, but filming with you, the kids and everything. I looked at filming as a job.
I know.
And just, there's no question about it. You know, like the work, it's work time. Like there's nothing else that's in my head, you know, and then having family dynamics with that, depending on the family to do my job, you know, was tough. But that's a different subject.
Yeah.
One of these days we should talk about maybe those ins and outs a little bit. Not family drama or anything, but like little ins and outs of being on reality television. You get what I'm saying? I feel like that would be a good...
Just to end that note though, 10 out of 10 don't recommend filming your pregnancy the entire way through on national television.
But you were a champ during it. You did it 3 times.
3 times. 3 times, and each time I saw myself get bigger and bigger and more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know. For all those women out there who do pregnancy well, I applaud you. I applaud you. Have all the babies. Just keep doing your thing. But we're done.
We're not just done for that reason, though.
Oh, we're done. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big portion of it.
I was gonna say,
but also, like, if we get one more sickness in this house with these kids, I'm gonna go nuts. Like,
there's so many things with having kids in general, but then also having kids with dwarfism and everything. That's just like
I just saw some.
Wait, sorry. What Jackson do the other day with his leg, or Josiah?
Oh, he was limping.
He was laying on his leg wrong. Gosh. I don't know what he was doing, but we think immediately spinal stenosis.
Something with dwarfism.
Yeah, his back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's gonna have a leg surgery.
Any other mom would just be like, "Hi, he just slept wrong." You know, we're like, is this the beginning?
We're like taking videos, trying to decide if we're going to the emergency room. Is this the
beginning of a huge back issue? It was,
and I think he just fell wrong.
I know. Then he sees an applesauce.
And then he's running across. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But it's like that moment, that
so
10 seconds. No, that 2 minutes took probably 10 years off Tori's in my life.
I just saw on Instagram today about how like, oh, that third baby, they're going to make you want a fourth. That third baby comes along and they're the sweetest baby. They're so easy. It's like they've always been here. And we've said that about Josiah. It's like he's always been here. But then they hit 2 and you're like,
he's been great. He's been a great 2-year-old.
He is wild though.
Oh, he's wild.
He does not sit here and make me like, oh, I want another one. Like, no, he's my one that I'm like, I cannot do another one. Like, guys, I need to keep up with you.
We talked about Josiah. He is on my 6th.
Oh, he loves you.
I was fixing the lawnmower.
He's so fun. Don't get me wrong, but he'll climb a ladder. Like at Jackson's birthday party, Zach puts up this piñata ladder and all of a sudden Josiah's at the top of the ladder.
No, he's outside rolling.
He loves you.
He's ready to roll.
Oh my gosh, they're so fun.
He's upset unless we're outside.
Yeah, it's so true. If he's outside, he's happy.
Well, I'm proud of you. Moral of the story.
Thank you.
You're looking great.
I hope that this was an encouragement, though, to women who look at themselves in a certain light. I hope that you can find the love for what God gave you, and you can be content in how you are and your journey. And yeah, I hope that it can be an encouragement.
There's an encouragement. There's also, I want to add one thing.
Okay.
There's also like a level of health though.
Yeah. Like
we're not encouraging people to just let themselves go.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm encouraging the opposite. I'm encouraging work hard for what you want instead of, because sometimes I like, not to say that surgery is the easy way out by all means. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying back to your question in Home Depot. Have you put in the work? Have you put in the work to see the actual results that you want instead of skipping a step and getting to the end and then maintaining? Have you actually put in the work? And I just hope that this encourages you to ask yourself that same question for anything, not just physically, for anything, for a job, for a family, for a house, like anything it can apply to. Have you put in the work?
Yeah.
And if not, try that first. Try
Yeah.
the work first.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not where I want to be physically at all.
But you're going to get there.
But I'm like going to get there. I'm going to get there one day. And it's, as long as I can keep up with my kids at this point, I'm good.
Yeah. You're looking good, though.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, dear. Should we turn off the camera?
Oh, my Lanta.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out for that one. It's been one that's been on my heart for a minute. So I'm glad I was able to get it off the chest and share it with you guys. Let us know what you think. Like, let us know what your journeys are and where you're at.
I feel like this one could produce some comments that can help us with other episode ideas.
Yeah, and be nice.
Some feedback.
Be nice.
So,
but
right.
Anyway, so make sure you're subscribed everywhere you listen to podcasts. And yeah, do your best. Forget the rest.